and welcome to another episode of the Nonsense Review. I am your host, Devon, as always, and joining me equally as always is Rick.
Hello, everybody.
And today you may have noticed that I didn't say a number. That's because today is a bit of a special case. After Rick's last bout of illness, we decided it was probably a good idea to record a couple of episodes in advance just in case that happens again, so I don't have to flounder so horribly trying to record something solo. So yes, before we get into what we're doing today, because this is recorded possibly months in advance, we simply don't know, we're not going to actually talk about our weeks today. We're going to do something quite special, and that is we're going to bring a segment we like to use in the Nonsense Retrospective. What's the name of that segment, Rick?
That's the Nonsense Asinine Hypotheticals.
Now, I do have a question prepared for Rick, and hopefully he can answer it. Are you ready?
Yep, here we go.
You don't have to worry about budget or anything. This is purely hypothetical. You are granted the rights to one franchise and one franchise only to make a video game out of. What type of video game do you make, and what is the franchise?
I might make a Star Wars Muso, because I think Star Wars is ripe enough that you can do pretty much whatever you want with it. And a Muso is turn your brain off enough that a lot of people can enjoy it. Even people that don't think they like Muso can enjoy it if they just go into it with no preconceptions and just go, oh yeah, this is pretty fun.
I think if you do a Star Wars Muso, if every attack with the lightsaber severs limbs...
Yeah, an actual lightsaber game where the lightsaber is as powerful as a lightsaber. And then the only characters where it's not as useful on are the other heroes, which, you know, is just the same as a normal Muso.
Well, you see, what I'd actually do with that is I'd tweak your premise just a little bit and have the base game be Muso, but if you ever encounter another character, it turns into like a Dark Souls-esque boss fight.
So yeah, it probably would be a Star Wars Muso.
That's fair. Bit low-hanging fruit going for Star Wars, but I understand.
In terms of picking something quickly out of thin air, it's a bit of a low-hanging fruit. I do acquiesce to that criticism.
So that being said, Rick, do you have a question to return fire with?
The one I have for you is, you can have a fictional character as a mentor. It can be a superhero, a supervillain, but any fictional character. Who would you have and why?
I almost instantly said Obi-Wan, but I didn't want to go for Star Wars again. I don't know, I think it has to be fictional, does it?
Probably fictional. Like, if you can find one that's not fictional, cool, but probably go with fictional because you can go super out there with fiction.
If I got to go fictional, I'll probably go for... Oh, it's going to be low-hanging fruit again, but Gandalf.
Yeah, he's a pretty damn good one, let's be honest.
Like, he knows some shit, but he's definitely one of those mentors who wouldn't be hands-on, as it were. He'd, like, give you a steady hand, but from the shadows, so you could barely tell he's doing it.
Yeah.
Whenever Gandalf talks to someone, he is always giving them advice, even if both him and the character he's talking to don't realise it.
Yeah. And last time I specified Gandalf in a hypothetical, you asked me the same thing. Gandalf the Grey or Gandalf the White?
Grey.
Yeah.
Gandalf the White is great and all, but Gandalf the Grey feels like he has more world knowledge. It's weird.
Yeah. So, we've opened this up with Star Wars and Gandalf.
Two fucking low-hanging fruit answers. Way to go, us. We are such vanilla fucking nerds. What are the two basic bitch flavour of nerd? Lord of the Rings and Star Wars. But yes, that was our two hypothetical questions. If you've got your own answer to those questions, please let us know in the comments. I'm sure there's some more interesting answers out there. But yes, Rick, today we are doing something a little bit different in that once again we're doing something I know a bit more about than you do.
Yes, we're doing Amphibia. We're starting this with Season 1, Episode 1, and if you'd like to watch along with us at home, it's on Disney+. It's 3, 2, 1, and go.
Man, the opening credits isn't quite as charming as the Owl House, but I still love it. I think you asked me this back when we actually did the Owl House. What I thought was better, this or the Owl House.
And you said the Owl House without any hesitation.
I did, but I also followed up by saying I watched the Owl House first.
True.
So if I watched this first, I don't know if the answer would have changed.
Sure. And also the Owl House wasn't quite as developed at the time, as far as I'm aware. I don't think you'd seen all of Season 2 at that point either.
Yes, I had.
Had you? Okay.
Yeah. This is a great show. Oh. Now, here's the funny thing. I actually didn't like the end of the first episode. I watched the first episode and I was like, whatever. Now, when I say first episode, first half of this episode.
Okay.
I was like, okay, it's a concept. I get it. Let's see where it goes. And then at the end of the second episode, which is the end of the entire episode, they left a stinger where I was like, okay, I'm intrigued to see where the fuck this goes.
Yep. Absolutely.
But yeah, this is why I say to everyone who'll listen to me, if you're going to start a new series based on a recommendation or just for shits and grins, always give it the 3-episode rule. Minimum.
And they don't always have to be concurrent. Like, you can come back to it in a couple of weeks. No problem.
By the way, death is constant in this show. And you might have just seen it there. That guy is now gone.
Okay, Polly can talk as well.
Polly the Pollywog.
Yeah.
Boy, that's... Don't stumble that word.
Yeah, because otherwise you end up with Pollywog, which is copyrighted.
Yeah, that's what I was...
Yeah. Or Polywhirl, which is also copyrighted.
Also much stronger.
Oh, yeah.
I love the implication that all that happened in one day.
Yeah.
Hey, you said you can't deal with the idea of eating bugs.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, don't get teleported to this world.
You can't even be a vegetarian.
Oh, you can, but the vegetables aren't much better.
Yeah, it's slime. Bugs are slime.
I think there's an episode relatively early on where they try to hunt down a tomato and it's a giant killer monster plant. Yeah. Do you like Mayor Quimby?
Without a Mayor Quimby, our town would really stink. We wouldn't have our fire or a Mrs. Roller Rink.
Wow. But yeah, that's basically Toadstool in my opinion.
Yeah. He's like a halfway point between Mayor Quimby and Mayor Dewey.
Oh, jeez. Oh, I love that little Pac-Man.
Yeah, that was a pretty cute visual.
This show is incredibly charming.
Boink, boink.
Oh, get fucked.
Hoik!
I like the idea of descending into Feralism.
But how long has she been here?
She does say, but I can't remember exactly. I think
like a week.
I think it's implied to be like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I also love the trope of just talk.
Yeah. He ran away he ran away screaming the second I spoke to him. Yeah, it actually just sound like Wally, yeah.
Character defining moment, I'd say. How to show a character is fundamentally a good person.
Yeah. You rescue someone at risk to yourself.
Praying mantises make great fucking giant monster enemy scaries.
Yeah. Basically, any bug make very good giant monsters. Like, spiders are the low-hanging fruit for that, but still.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, too many people are just freaked out automatically by the sight of a spider. Not talking from personal experience, I promise. Oh, that's gross. That's a great way of describing it. Yeah. Would you trust this creature, Rick?
I mean... kind of. Based entirely on the fact that I have endangered this creature and rescued it.
Yeah.
Probably indebted to me in some way. I probably would trust it to at least some degree. I don't think that it would be trying to super deceive me into after the fact.
You just used the Jar Jar Binks defense.
Hot Pop.
I don't remember if they say his name anytime soon, but I think his real name is Hoppadiah.
Okay.
That Hot Pop's a nickname. Man, it's weird how fucking Western animation is embracing the isekai genre, ain't it?
Yeah, I'm all for it. Like, isekai is a pretty good premise.
Yeah. Also, not to knock the creators of the genre, but boy, is it a bit more creative than I got run over by a truck and instead of dying, I got reincarnated into another world.
That said, they recently started doing an anime of, well, okay. It was last year that they released season 1 of it, but Mushoku Tensei is one of the earliest isekais that was ever written, and it's just not been animated until recently. And it's a bit like Megami Tensei, where they were building the tropes as they were going.
Yeah, I get you.
And now looking back on it, actually having a slow pace is kind of refreshing.
Yeah. The problem with a slow pace is you got to have your audience give you be willing to give you the time. Yeah, and
yeah.
I don't know about you, but when I was younger, I was impatient as shit.
What helps is if you know that there's going to be a lot of content.
Yeah, sure.
You know that there's going to be 40 episodes worth of content, so it's okay that you don't actually get a lot done in the first 2. But also part of the slow. I was going to say part of the slow speed is the fact that you see the kid get born in another world rather than just reincarnated.
Oh, that's creepy but fair. Hey, did you ever watch a Star Wars?
Did you ever watch a Star Wars?
Yeah. That's literally just the fucking takedown.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Stark, you remember that really old movie, Empire Strikes Back?
I fucking hate that kid, but I also love him.
Yeah. Well, we might not have to hate him for too much longer. We'll find out.
Oh. Aww.
Yeah, that's a nice sentiment.
Also a valid question if you're unsure.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Hoppadiah, there we go.
It's also a very interesting thing to note that even this early on, the mayor's character is shown to be, even though he's prone to extreme ends of the emotional spectrum, he's still fundamentally not evil.
Yeah, he's generally reasonable and can be reasoned with.
Yeah, usually when money's involved, but you know. Here's another thing as well that drives me crazy, and I mentioned it in the Owl House as well. Phone's working.
Yeah.
Look at that D&D map.
Yep. Wartwood. Is Wartwood the starting town, or is it the whole zone?
Wartwood's the town. They're in a valley, and I forget the name of the valley, but they do tell you at some point.
Fair enough.
Aw. That's legitimately sweet.
Yeah.
If I remember rightly, by the way, just for context, I believe Anne is 13. How terrifying is that?
Yep. Man, there was a time when I thought I had bed bugs, and
Oh, dude, in my old house we were in... Well, my room seemed to be infested, and there was just nothing we could do.
Yeah.
That sucked. That was a fucking horrible 3 years.
Yeah, the fun part was when we found out they weren't bed bugs, they were carpet beetles, and that made me a lot happier and let me sleep at night better.
Oh yeah, because carpet beetles are just gross looking, but they're not harmful.
Yeah, they just show up all the time.
Yep. Man, I wish that it's one of the few things that being a large-framed individual, as you can probably relate to, Rick, is that you can't buy clothes from charity shops.
Fucking Dreamcast in the charity shop.
I didn't even notice. There's your fucking opening scene shot.
I'm guessing the other two got isekai'd as well, but we find them later.
I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I love how she has told them about a dozen times, I'm not interested in eating you fucking creatures. And yet they still are suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
She saved their boy's life. It doesn't matter how small you are, getting whacked in the head by a rolling pin by anyone is going to hurt like shit.
Yep. It's nice that she's got a Polaroid of.
Yeah.
Because I don't have a Polaroid of my friends.
I believe she's got one of those adapter things you plug into your phone and printed it off of that.
Oh, okay. Like a Game Boy printer.
So, yeah, I believe that's how it worked.
Yeah. Man, do you remember the Game Boy printer? You could plug it into the Game Boy camera.
I do, because that's how you used to print off your fucking certificate for completing the Pokedex.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Rick, you're old. I loved that towel. Did you catch it?
No, I didn't.
Said beach, please.
Okay.
That's what you call taking it on the fucking chin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so apparently everyone else is paranoid, he says, by going, paranoid.
It's one of those self-defeating arguments of, we need everyone to get used to you, so we're going to keep you locked up. And it's like, okay, how are people going to get used to you if you're not going out and interacting with them?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. I appreciate humour that is just on the nose.
Yep. Now he becomes a Charmeleon.
They establish it a bit later, but by the way, the main character is of Thai descent.
Okay.
So I imagine actually super spicy peppers probably don't mean shit to her.
Nope.
Did you catch the book title?
Oh, no, sorry.
So You're a Failed Actor.
Okay.
Sprig likes to big himself up.
And yet, never delivers. Oh, sleeping with his eyes open.
That is the freakiest shit that I've never seen in real life.
Yeah, apparently... Oh, yeah, she just says the same thing. But yeah, apparently it just happens to people now and again.
Oh, I don't doubt that it's a real thing or anything. It's just... It's so weird that it's so common in, like, cartoons and TV shows, but I've never encountered it in the wild.
Yeah, apparently it happened to me once, and yeah, you find out when you wake up and your eyes are really fucking dry.
Oh, yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. You need to do a lot of blinking. That sounds like, going back a little bit, that sounds a bit like Goblin Culture of, If you take a picture of me or write my name down, that's my soul court.
Well, it's also like the old how Japanese reacted to cameras in the first time they were introduced to them. Not all of them, obviously, but like the general view. And again, I could be wrong, but the historical document is that a lot of people didn't like having a photo taken because they thought their souls were being taken.
Yep.
That is actually quite nice.
Yeah. Don't swim.
Be honest with you, that water does not look like... The water looks like gross swamp water.
I mean, it is gross swamp water, but, you know. It's a beautiful lake of gross swamp water.
It looks like it would be thick. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Get ready for a warped fucking worldview here, Rick.
Bet. Oh boy, yeah.
Yep.
Friends help friends get the friends they want. Get the things they want. Friend wants you to be a thief, you can just go be a thief. Go do crimes.
There's plenty... The sad thing is there's plenty of people who think that.
Yeah.
It's also this little thing called peer pressure. I remember I explained to someone in a rather depressed way in that I never had enough friends to be peer pressured into doing fucking criminal shit, so I kind of escaped it by being unpopular.
Yeah. Wasn't your closest thing when you did the prank calls and you went, okay, this ain't good?
I never did them, I was just around.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Okay, hello.
She just dropped her phone in the water.
Yeah, it gone. If it's not gone forever, then that's continuity.
Man, that is a cool looking snake.
It is.
That's a bit of a... Okay, cool. Yeah, that's the right reaction.
Yeah. I mean, both of them are reasonable reactions, though.
Oh, absolutely.
This is my fault, you get out of here. Or also, yeah, I'm not about to let my first real friend get eaten.
Yep. Something calls it Berserker. I like the idea of fighting a giant snake with a stick.
Yep.
That's the Sora method. Fuck me, Sprig's plan worked.
Yep. The peppers in the pocket.
Yep.
Wink. Unfortunately, once they're in your stomach, they don't really have much of an effect. But, yeah. You know, other than hallucinogenic.
I get you.
Yeah, the failed Octobuck returns. We should be doing pretty good going to eat the whole towns with.
Yeah.
Needs new shoes.
Well, I don't know if you've noticed, but she's only had one the entire time.
Yep. Yeah, she's got one shoe and a sock.
Rick, it took me 6 episodes to notice when I first watched. That's such a child thing.
Not even gonna try.
What an adult apology.
Yeah.
That's a very cute fucking sleeping pose.
Yeah, just flop over and tongue out. There we go.
So at this point, I was kind of like, this show's okay, but doesn't seem to be anything really there.
Mm-hmm.
And then boom.
There we go. There we go.
So I was eating like a pie at the time, and and I just opened my mouth wide, and I was like,
And pie fell out.
Fuck. That is the actual moment I got hooked, and I was like, okay, what the fuck is going on in this show?
Yeah, like the fact that there is more to the show is what's going to keep me coming back.
Mm-hmm. Also, look at this cute outro.
Yeah, it is a nice and cute outro. And blowing out the candle as a, like drawing a line under it. Yeah, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
So yeah, this came out in, 2019, so it's a couple of years old now. We're currently, I'm going to date it a little bit, but season 3 is currently airing at the moment, so if people want to binge it, there is stuff to binge.
Oh, there absolutely is. I didn't start watching this until season 2 was already finished.
Yeah.
I was bored after the Owl House.
Yeah. And I didn't start watching it until today, and if it weren't for a coin flip, it would have been earlier today.
Well, we lucked out there. Because I think the first episode is definitely something worth reacting to.
Yeah, it was a coin flip between watching that or just watching more BoJack Horseman, and I ended up watching more BoJack Horseman.
The sad thing is, literally yesterday, I wanted to put something on in the background while I binged Stardew Valley for a couple of hours.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, let's put BoJack on. I went, where should I start it? And I was like,
yeah.
There is no good place to start because I know halfway through every season a bad thing will happen that will make me depressed.
Mm-hmm. Like, at least season 1, nothing super bad happens, but still.
Have you seen the Herb encounter yet?
Oh, yeah. That's
The worst thing in season 1 is him going to fucking Herb's house and not understanding why Herb is mad.
Yeah. Being a prick about it and just wanting closure for no effort. And, like, I think it's a real adult lesson that Herb just goes, I don't forgive you. I'm not giving you the closure after you've just left me in the lurch for 23 years or whatever it is.
And then it gets fucking comically stupid with fucking BoJack stealing a fucking kaleidoscope or some shit.
Yeah.
It's like, that was my kaleidoscope, fucker, it's mine.
You gave it to me, dickhead, yeah.
But yes, BoJack tangent aside, what did you think of the first episode of Amphibia?
It was cute, like you said. The biggest thing was the last moment and the glimpses into the past. That's what's going to keep me coming back. I will eventually watch all of it, and I will catch up to where you are. But yeah, it was pretty good.
Man, looking back at episode 1 after watching it all the way to the end of season 2, fuck, so much happens.
I'm guessing you see a lot of character development.
There's that. Powers are gained, shall we say.
Okay. Does the roster expand?
The roster doesn't expand greatly. In fact, the core roster more or less stays the same.
Okay.
But there's a couple of new additions. Like, there's repeating characters. Like, you saw most of the villagers in Wartwood. They're present throughout most of the series, as long as they're in Wartwood.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them get their own little episodes that just explain what their fucking deal is.
Yeah.
Which mostly involves Anne fucking with them. Without her realising that she's pestering them.
Yeah. It's a very teenage thing to do. Pester someone in a good-natured way that ends up not actually being that good-natured.
But yes, I suppose we should get on with our wind down. So to that end, Rick, what was your favourite moment, buddy?
Favourite moment was eating the candy like a Pac-Man.
Oh yeah, that was pretty adorable.
Cute little visual and audio gag.
Yeah. There is a lot of that type of joke throughout the series, and it doesn't stop. Like I told you when I watched it, there's an episode in season 2 where they literally meet a frog version of Grunkle Stan.
Okay.
It's just Gravity Falls, but in Amphibia. It was such an obvious Gravity Falls parody that me, having not seen Gravity Falls, knew it was Gravity Falls.
But how about you? Did you have a favourite moment?
My favourite moment was the moment that got me hooked on the series, and I'm glad it did, and that was seeing Sasha locked up in jail.
Yeah.
For an episode that was mostly fluff and world building, just seeing that little moment was like, what the fuck are they doing with this? This is so much darker than I expected.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't be all praising and enjoyable. I worded that really poorly, but fuck it. Rick, do you have a weakest link?
My weakest link is that it took until the end of the second episode to show the implications of Sasha. I think the weakest link really in the early stages, and it's episode 1, so it's not really that much of a weak link, but I'd say it's the pacing. So I would wish that certain things got revealed quicker and would have been available to us earlier, but it's not that much of a complaint because it's still episode 1. What would you say is your weakest link?
I don't know, man. The unfortunate thing is, because I've watched the whole thing, everything is good in retrospect.
Yeah, so even things that you don't actually think are that strong of a thing are actually foundations for things that happen in future a lot of the time.
Pretty much. The characters have grown on me. I know what these characters all end up like. It means, looking back at the first episode where I thought it was a bit of a chore when I actually initially watched it until the end, looking back, I'm just like, this is all just fun and good and goofy, and yeah, of course Sprig's gonna do that, and yeah, Anne's gonna act like that. I guess my weakest link would be how quickly Polly drops her anti-Anne stance.
Yeah.
But even then, it's not really a weak link. So, to the all-important question, Rick, who is your MVP?
Probably going to be Sprig, just for taking a punt on allowing Anne into the gamut of main characters, as it were.
Sprig definitely serves the purpose as the protagonist who is native to the world.
He's the key to allowing Anne into the world.
All the characters eventually start to act as like guides and teachers to Anne, but early on it's definitely a Sprig solo mission.
Yeah, I can't really give it to Anne in this situation because I don't think she actually did a great deal. Who was your MVP?
Well, I'm going to flip you the massive proverbial bird because I'm giving it to Anne.
Okay.
They do a great job of defining her as a character in this first episode.
Yeah, a lot of the things she solves are problems that she started, which is kind of like a good character trait to have.
Except that's not entirely true. Case in point, the very first thing is she has an encounter with Wally.
Okay.
The first thing she does is she tries to start a dialogue and Wally is freaked out and runs away, and then she's like, for fuck's sake.
Yep.
Bear in mind, that trap was not meant for Sprig. It was most likely meant for something she could actually eat.
Yeah, she looked disappointed when she saw that he was slimy and probably sentient.
I mean, and that got solved in 2 seconds. The moment she realised he was inedible, for lack of a better word, she was just like, leave me the fuck alone.
Yep.
So yeah, Anne gets a big tick from me. With that said, it's time to wind down, guys. Hopefully you've enjoyed this little, for lack of a better word, sick day episode, and who knows what we're doing next week, because it'll be far flung into the future. So if you want to drop us a comment down below, please feel free to if you're on YouTube. If you're not watching on YouTube and listening via one of our many Audible platforms, then please feel free to send us an email. Now, Rick, where would they send said email?
That would be at nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com. Once again, that's nonsensereviewuk@gmail.com.
Yes. And what's more is there to say, guys, other than keep yourselves safe and keep yourselves happy. We'll see you all again next time.
Bye!